There's a good chance the last time you cracked an egg, it was for breakfast. Not for your hair. But 150 years ago, in a lot of farmhouses, an egg was one of the most ordinary things a woman reached for when she wanted her hair to shine. No bottle, no label, just something already sitting in the kitchen that cost her nothing extra because the hens had done the work. This wasn't fringe. In the Victorian years, before shampoo existed the way we know it, most women washed their hair rarely, some of the well-off, maybe once a month. When they did, egg was one of the standard ways to do it, written right into the beauty manuals of the day. There was even an empress who swore by it. Egg yolk and a splash of brandy every 3 weeks. Her hair reached the floor. I want to show you what actually happens when you use it. And I mean actually, because there's a version of this floating around the internet that's half true, and I'd rather hand you the half that holds up. But first, let me tell you why your hair probably doesn't behave the way it did at 30, because this part matters more than the egg does. Somewhere in your 40s, sometimes sooner, your estrogen starts to drop. And estrogen was quietly running a lot of things you never had to think about. One of them was the oil on your scalp. Down at the base of every hair there are little glands, and their whole job is to make sebum, a light, natural oil. That oil coats each strand as it grows out. That oil is what kept your hair smooth without you lifting a finger. It was free, it was automatic. You never had to earn it. When estrogen falls, those glands slow down, less oil, and that one quiet change explains almost everything you've been noticing. The dryness, the dullness that wasn't there before, the way your ends snap when they never used to, the frizz that shows up out of nowhere on a day you did nothing different. And here's the part almost nobody tells you. That oil wasn't only sitting on top making things pretty, it kept your scalp slightly acidic. And that acidity is what held the outside of every hair lying flat and closed. The outside layer of a strand is called the cuticle, and it's built like the shingles on a roof. Tiny overlapping plates all lying down neat, so light slides across them and rain runs right off. When the oil thins out and the acidity shifts, those shingles start to lift. They stand up a little. And lifted shingles catch the light wrong, so the hair looks flat. They snag on each other, so it tangles. They let water rush in and out, so it swells and frizzes. So if your hair feels like it turned on you at some point, it didn't. You didn't do anything wrong. Your scalp just stopped handing you the oil it used to give you for free. That's the whole mystery. There's no failure in it. There's just less of something you never had to think about before. Now, the egg. An egg yolk is basically a small package of fat and protein, and the fat in it, the part that matters most for you, is something called lecithin. Lecithin is an emulsifier, which is a fancy word for a thing that gets oil and water to hold hands. It's also why the egg cleans at all. That same property lets it grab onto the grease and grime on your scalp and lift it away. But here's the quiet magic of it. The fats in an egg yolk are close cousins of the oils your own scalp used to make. Lecithin, fatty acids, a little cholesterol. Smoothing yolk over dry hair is almost like borrowing back the sebum your body stopped producing. Those fats settle into the strand. They fill the rough spots. They lay those lifted shingles back down. And your hair goes soft and it goes heavy in a good way and it moves again. That slip when you run your fingers through and they don't catch on anything. The egg white does something different. It's mostly protein, and protein, when it dries on your hair, lays down a very thin film across the surface. It bridges the little chips and cracks along the cuticle just for a while, so the strand feels sturdier and reads glossier. Light bounces cleanly off a smooth surface. That's the shine you're seeing. Yolk and white together, you've got the two things aging hair runs short on: oil and structure, sitting in a shell in the door of your fridge. But I promised you the honest half. The egg is not repairing your hair, not deep down. Those proteins sit on the outside. They don't sink into the core and rebuild what's broken. Every time you wash, most of it rinses away and you start over. It's a coat, not a cure. Which sounds like a letdown until you notice. That's exactly what conditioner is. A good coat you reapply. You've been paying for that in a bottle for years, and the egg will not make your hair grow faster. I need you to really hear that one. Because the internet will tell you the opposite all day long. There is nothing in an egg you rub on the outside that reaches the follicle. What the egg does do is cut the breakage, and when your end stops snapping off, your hair keeps the length it grows. So across a few months it can look longer, not because it sped up, but because you stopped losing it at the bottom. That's real, it's just not a miracle. It's arithmetic. Let me save you from my own worst attempt at this. The first time, I rinsed it out with hot water, the temperature I always shower in, without thinking, and I stood there feeling little cooked bits appear all through my hair because heat does to a raw egg on your head exactly what it does to one in a pan. It sets. It seizes up. I spent a good 20 minutes combing scrambled egg out of my own hair, which is a humbling way to spend a morning. So the one trick, really the only trick that matters, is temperature. Cool or lukewarm, start to finish. Never hot. If the water feels barely warm on the inside of your wrist and not a degree more, you're safe. Here's the way I do it now. 1 egg for shorter or finer hair. 2 if yours is long or thick. If your hair runs dry, and after 40 most of ours does, lean on the yolk or use the whole egg. If you still get oily at the roots, use just the white. The protein cleans a little and won't weigh you down. Beat it until it's smooth and only just frothy. Not a cappuccino. You don't want a head full of bubbles. Wet your hair with that cool water first, then pour or scoop it on and work it into your scalp with your fingertips, slow, the way you'd want it done for you. Bring it down through to the ends. Let it sit 5 minutes, maybe 10. It'll dry down and feel a little tacky, and that's exactly right. Then rinse. Cool water again. Rinse longer than feels necessary until the water runs clear and your hair stops feeling slick. If you catch any smell at all, that's just egg you haven't rinsed all the way out. A quick pour of watered-down apple cider vinegar clears it and brings up the shine at the same time. That little bit of acid is doing the same job your scalp's own oil used to do. It lays the shingles flat. 2 guardrails, and then I'll let you go try it. Don't do this every day. Egg white is protein, and hair can actually take on too much protein. It goes stiff and a bit straw-like and stops bending. Once a week is plenty. Every 2 weeks is completely fine, your hair will tell you which. And don't leave it sitting up there for an hour thinking more is better. It isn't. There's a food safety reason to keep it short and rinse it well. 10 minutes, rinse, done. It's a wash, not an afternoon. I'm not here to tell you to toss the shampoo you love. If there's a bottle that makes you happy, keep it. This was never a fight. It's just that on the weeks money's tight, or you've run out of your usual, or you only want to feel your hair go soft the way it used to, the answer might already be in the door of your fridge. Sitting there, costing you the price of 1 egg. Those women a century ago weren't going without and waiting to be rescued by a better product. They were resourceful. They knew what was in their kitchen, and they knew what it did with their hands. We've gained a lot of good things since. There's plenty on a modern shelf I genuinely love. We also got talked into believing that anything that works has to come sealed in plastic with a story printed on the front. An egg has no story on the front. It just works quietly, the same way it worked for your great-grandmother. Try it this week. 1 egg, cool water. See how your hair feels when you're done.